This audio commentary has been copyrighted 2006 by WCReplays.com, so if you steal it, Bunny will go Beast of Kerbanog on you. First person to get that reference gets a shout out in my next audio, by the way, because that would make you awesome. And I shout out to awesome people. First things first, please pause the replay at the 10-second mark and put it at 1x speed. Again, please pause the replay at the 10-second mark and put it at 1x speed. Yes, the guy who repeats simple instructions and calls acolytes acolytes is doing audios again. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Theo, or better known by my Battle.net handle, Noconce. To give a little bit of information about my Warcraft history and skill level, I play human. I've been playing them for about a year now. I quit Warcraft back in December and came back about a month ago. Before I quit back in December, I used to play with the long gone Team Rush as well as the old FOH. I used to play in leagues like WPL, AHL, and TFL. I was also ranked 2 on Azeroth for a while during last ladder season. But since I've come back right now, I'm in a clan micro society, not a very well known clan at the moment. I mainly ladder on Asia. I think I'm like level 38 right now. Hopefully starting next week I can start laddering there more and try and get higher up on the ladder. Also, after I'm done with the AC, I will be answering some questions that I got PM'd to me. I'm going to do the same thing I did last time for this audio as well. Just private message me a question on Warcraft Replays. My account is Noconce. That's spelled Noconce. Unless it's just troll or spam, I'll answer it at the end of my next audio. Probably. Before I forget, shout out to Clan MSY, Blinded Sniper in particular, for leaving a game when he was lagging, and to Johan and Eric because they are timeless Gosu. Anyway, without further ado, let's start the replay when I count down from 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Unpause the replay. As you can see, 4K Todd spawned on the far right, SK Hot spawned on the far left. It's quite common in best of threes between human and night elf, if the night elf loses the first match, to choose Twisted Meadows as the second map, because it's quite a difficult map for human to creep on, and it's pretty easy for a night elf to control. They do pretty well on it. As you can see in Todd's base, he's speed building his altar and farm. The point of this, as you will see, is to creep those 3 gnolls, the Gnoll Overseer and the 2 Gnoll Wardens outside of his main, quickly with Militia before the Demon Hunter can get there and mana burn him so they can't creep it, not to mention steal the creep. And actually I found with this build that despite the fact that you lose resources by speed building and having 3 on mine for a little while, I found because of the late barracks and the quick lumber workers that I tech faster using this build. So kind of interesting, you do lose more resources, but in my experience with my normal build, I actually tech faster if I do the speed build, which is nice. Looks like SK Hot is going with the Demon Hunter. The Demon Hunter, of course, is a popular choice on a map like this. On small maps with with progressive creeps, meaning creeps that you get 2 to 3 small creep camps and then slowly bigger and bigger ones. Examples of that would be Terrana's Stand, where it turns from like 3 green camps into like an orange camp, into the other orange camps where they can just keep building up skellies. You'll see Dark Ranger on those maps. In particular, Terrana's Stand, Echo Owls, and I'm not really sure, and Turtle Rock. There we go. That's the other one where you see them a lot. This is mostly a Demon Hunter dominated map. You might see something like Panda first, or maybe Beastmaster first on this map too. As you can see, Todd kind of surrounded the Gnoll when he was creeping it. That was because if the Demon Hunter happened to come, he wouldn't be able to get in there and steal the last hit, because some night elves are pretty damn good at that. Well, and it's annoying as hell. As you can see, he stole the peasant kill with his foot. Whenever you can deny your opponent of EXP, it's a good thing, man. I wasted like 2 months away on DOTA, so now I'm pretty damn good at that. Yep, DOTA makes you ghost to, it's true. Todd is probably going to tech right about soon. He has quite... Oh yeah, no, he replaced his peasant. It seems like he has 8 peasants on wood, which is pretty standard. Once he finishes this green camp right here, these 2 gnolls, he should be level 2. Anyway, while they're doing the boring stuff, some things I'd like to say about this matchup. Usually there are about several ways that humans try and play against Night Elf. One is to push right about when they get tier 2, right when they're building their lores, or right about daytime, because then they use their moon wells up and they don't have many units and they can't handle the push very well. Sky obviously is known for doing this. He's pretty much mastered the rifle push, but as of late he doesn't seem to be winning much with it. Third way is to kind of wait until later in the game when they get bears and things like that, and counter and try and beat them then. That's quite difficult to do unless you do the third way to play, which is to try to secure a fast expansion against Night Elf. That's easier on some maps than others, but if you've been watching SKMU, for example, his recent games against Night Elf, he does kind of a semi-late fast expand, still pre-tier 2. And he's done pretty well with it, though I think people are kind of figuring out how to stop that. And that's pretty much the 3 ways that are popular to play against Night Elf. As some of you know about me, I like to use the clock in the middle, on the middle of your screen, on the top of it. As you can see right now, there's a moon and 3 dots. Yeah. I like to use that for timing, some timing things against Night Elf. Most Night Elves hit tier 2 and therefore buy their Naga about 1 dot before midnight of the first night. They build lores about the same time, or usually right about midnight. And another thing that can help is that they usually build their Hunter's Hall a little, like right about when it gets 2 dots into the first night, or a little bit into 2 dots of the first night, they build their Hunter's Hall. So sometimes if you fast expand against the Night Elf, you want to slow him down 2 dots into the first night, go over there and destroy his Hunter's Hall while it's building, and it'll slow down his lores. As you can see, or as you did see, Todd bought a boot of speed and dust. When a demon hunter buys a boot of speed and you don't, not only are you asking for your AM to die early, but your Naga's not going to survive when you buy her unless you get boots of speed on her. At least against the demon hunter. Against other neutral heroes, I don't think it's quite so important. Like if they go Dark Ranger first, I certainly don't buy a boot of speed. I may still buy dust, which can obviously help kill archers if they hide. Todd buys Naga too. Nice thing about Naga against Night Elf is Cold Arrow is a nice disable. It can stop them from harassing too efficiently. And she's ranged, so she's not mana burned easily, and she's not that mana dependent. And Forked Lightning does a lot of damage. People don't realize how much damage in a human versus Night Elf battle when the human has level 2 or higher Forked Lightning comes from just spamming Forked Lightning alone. It does a lot of damage, and it can really help cut down bears. As you can see, Todd brought some militia. I like to keep my militia hotkeyed. Usually, like say I'm going to creep, like he did, creep the gnoll outside my camp as soon as game starts. So I'd hotkey 4 into hotkey 9, and then a separate hotkey I'll have all of my lumber peasants in hotkey 0, so that in case of an emergency I could do that. Todd is building 2 sanctums and a blacksmith. He's already got defend, he's got foots. So people might be wondering, why didn't he build a blacksmith earlier? Because if he started producing riflemen earlier, if he had built the blacksmith and started producing riflemen, he probably wouldn't have the wood to do an immediate double sank when his tech finished. At least that's been my experience. This game he actually did have enough wood due to the fact that his tech got delayed a little bit, and he didn't build his sanctums immediately. And another thing too is that foots really help a lot with early game harass. I found when if I just try and go straight to rifles after 2 foots, it's really easy to get rifles picked off. So Todd got Vamp Aura. I would consider selling Vamp Aura. Actually, what I do is either wait till A, all my footmen died because the rest of my units are going to be ranged, or B, right before I broke upkeep. Like I'd stay in no upkeep until 500 gold and sell my Vamp Aura and build three units simultaneously, something similar to that. As you can see, Night Elf staff is imbalanced, and it doesn't look like Blizzard's can do anything about it. Also note that if you look at Todd's base, he built a little scout farm on the side. I like to build scout farms a lot. I really like scout farms, but it helps, you know. Why stuff a scout farm into the back of your base when you can actually have it act as a small sentry for you? That way Todd will know if they're coming up the side of his base. And I think it's especially helpful with what Hot does this game. I think personally, in my opinion, when it's about 2-3 dots into the first day, you should scout a Night Elf if you haven't already. If you aren't attacking her, rather, because if they're staying. By the way, I do refer to Night Elves as females because, you know, you're a bitch if you play Night Elf. That's why. Because a lot of Night Elves now, what they're doing is just staying at tier 2 for a while, massing Dryades, and just constantly harassing you, not letting you leave your base. It's a really annoying way to play. As you can see, Hot's doing that right now. So I think that's worth scouting for. What I like to do against it personally, I know a lot of players want to agree with this, but I like to just make 3 towers in my base. When I see them staying at tier 2 for a long time and going Dryades. That way I can creep without having to return to my base every time they go to own my peasants. And when you think about it, 3 towers is only 300 gold. I know that may sound like a lot, but if you could put up a building that stopped all harassment of your base that cost 300 gold, you would probably do it. But for some reason, the psychology